You're listening to Beyond the Metagame, a podcast where two experienced competitive Super Smash Bros. Players look beyond the controller to analyze and break down the unspoken psychological framework of the competitive scene. Welcome, broadcasting to the entirety of the Super Smash Bros. Community. This is Beyond the Metagame. I'm your host Peon, this week live from the Roman Coliseum. I'm joined as always by my sexy gladiator co-host AV. AV, how's it going, big boy?
Yeah, you're just trying. Are you taking part in the bread and circuses that's being offered by our glorious leader Julius Caesar?
I am. Unfortunately, I'm in the circus part, AV. It's a ginger thing. They just clowns were ginger even back in Julius's time, I'm afraid.
Oh, that is unfortunate. I mean, you've been relegated to the circus. So what's your act? What's your deal?
Well, I can juggle, AV. I don't know if you know this. I can juggle knives. It's a weird party trick that I have. People don't know this about me, but I can juggle blades.
Wait, did you say not? You can actually juggle blades.
I can. I get, much to my girlfriend's dismay. I actually nicked myself on the finger a couple days ago, and it was almost the end of my very, 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 what I thought was a strong and stable relationship. Now it has been shook to its core. Look, and I don't blame her, Avie. Would you want to date someone who has less than 10 fingers?
I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't think fingers is actually a total deal breaker.
I'm obviously kidding. But that would be a really weird hill to die on. Can we just acknowledge that? Dude, I met this. Okay, Avie, imagine you meet the perfect girl. Okay, what's your favorite movie, for instance?
Oh God, I have the worst opinion on this.
Just pick a movie. What's one of your favorite movies? The Sacha Baron
Cohen movie, The Dictator.
Oh yeah, The Dictator. Yeah, well, she loves The Dictator. Okay, you like coffee.
Dude, the perfect person for me does not love The Dictator.
So you're just gonna disagree with the premise that your perfect lady. Well, so you do have a lady, Avie.
I mean,
and
I do.
reference her often.
I'd prefer to talk about I prefer to talk about her.
Talk about the real deal. Then okay, so you have this spicy hot chili pepper mama that you have incredible physical chemistry with. How's she doing? How's that? You haven't given us an update, Avie.
What do you mean? I didn't realize that everyone was entitled to an update.
Well, I gave the community an update about my relationship and my knife juggling getting in the way of it. You haven't told us anything, Avie, and the people need to know.
No, it's been fantastic. It's been great. I mean, it's weird. I think the thing that we were talking about earlier is the fact that we've spent most of our relationship, a majority of our relationship, with the coronavirus being around. And
that is weird. That's a weird time to start a relationship.
It's super strange because we were thinking about it, and it just means that the dynamic of a relationship is just so much different than how it would have been if we had started it not in quarantine. So
I wonder, there's in future generations, there's going to be a name for the quarantine couples that snuggle together and and conceived children in the name of isolation. They're bored. It's the Netflix and children of the quarantine age. Are you guys going? Are you guys talking about babies and stuff already?
No.
I like how I'm playing the role of your very antsy mom who just wants to be a grandmother. Avie, can I be the godfather?
I had a dream about. First of all, first of all, I feel out of all people to be if I did at some point in my life had a child, I think there's an actual chance that I would name you as the godfather of my child because you're just outdoorsy enough and I would you're the nice foil to me. I'm more of a non-traditional not in terms masculine dude, and you're more of the stereotypical masculine dudes. So like we can have like the perfect combination of like masculinity for the whatever child. I guess I just assumed that the child was going to be a dude.
Yeah, that was a little. Yeah. I was gonna say that was a little presumptuous of you.
But it's
it's like how I presumed that like people with less than 10 fingers are like like non-desirable life partners, which was I revoke. I mean, I have since apologized because I love people with. I frankly now that I reflect, I prefer the less fingered.
All right, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Your preferences aside. I think masculinity and femininity exist within all people. So I think that's what I was gonna get to, and that everyone has some masculine traits and everyone has some feminine traits. So.
And you're saying you're feminine.
I did not exclusively say that, but I don't know. Some people would describe me that way.
How come? You're so tender.
I have a skincare routine. And
okay, that's point taken. It does work, AV, and I'll say, look, if you aren't watching this show on YouTube, now's the time to check in and really sort of take AV at face value, no pun intended, because his skin is looking pristine. But AV, I did just announce our YouTube channel. We're growing it. It's been pretty fun. Look, this show is primarily like an audio show. But it is kind of cool if you want to just throw us on the TV or the whatever computer and spend some time with AV and I. Plus, AV is looking way too good. There's no reason not to look at him.
You're just like buttering me up today. I mean, you're not looking too bad yourself. You've been you've been hitting the gym. You've been kind of getting
not the gym because everything's closed down.
Right.
But I have been hooping. I've been hooping. Just by myself. There's a little hoop. There's a basketball hoop near my house. Oh my goodness! I've made that my own. I'm the only one who uses it. Me and that hoop are like best buds at this point, and I'm getting shredded. I better be jumping out of the gym once it reopens. But hey, other than announcing the YouTube channel, I did want to announce AV that this is huge. That Beyond the Metagame tournament that's happening August 9th. People have been clamoring. Look, AV Peon. 8.0 is out. It's a great time to play some Smash, and hey, let's christen this bad boy with a tournament. And hey, you asked, we've answered. August 9th, save the date. And no. I'm not talking about AV's eventual marriage. Okay, he's going to be Mr. Chili Pepper Mama one day, but today is not that day. It's a day of tournament, of competitiveness, and that's going to be streamed on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/peonchop. If you guys want to compete, more information will be in our Discord. AV, you plug the Discord. That's a little segue.
Yeah, sure. The Discord is a fantastic place if you want to hang out, interact with, and discuss concepts that we talk about on the show or outside of the show with like-minded individuals, and it's a really good place to get some games in. I've been active on the matchmaking channel, very active for the last 2 weeks. I'm always looking to play games. Peon and I are always looking to play games with members of the community, and you'll find some really, really good resources to improve as a player and as a person in general. And you actually have to be a member of the Discord in order to participate in the tournament, so it's actually kind of a double incentive to join our awesome community. Something that you should also join or consider joining is our Patreon. Now, the thing is that I usually am pretty good with my investments, but for some reason, when it comes to Peon's portfolio, I lose all senses. All fiscal responsibility goes out the window. Yeah. And Peon, do you want to talk about what happened to your portfolio?
Well, okay. So let me just tell you this: if you're looking to increase your credit score, one hot tip I have for you is not to turn to AV. Okay, AV said, "Look, Peon, I know I banged up your credit. It's in the double digits, but hey, what you can do is you can apply for a credit card, which will increase your total credit amount." I'm like, okay, that sounds like a pretty swell idea. What he didn't tell me about were hard inquiries on
This is so specific.
My credit has been shot down and is currently lying in the streets. I was denied on my credit card, and my assets have been seized. This microphone is all I have left. So please support us on Patreon. AV, I'm excited to talk to you. On a side note, luckily I haven't sold my Switch yet at a pawn shop or traded it for shelter. So we have been able to test out patch 8.0 quite a bit, and gosh darn it, it's one heck of a patch, AV. I don't know why I went like E10 plus right there with language wise, but look, it's a great patch. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to talk about Min Min, who was recently added to the game. And it's been a while. We gave our sort of preview, our expectations to the patch, but we haven't talked about the patch since it was introduced. So, AV, any thoughts before we hop right into this sucker?
I think there were a lot of preconceived notions going into the patch. A lot of people kind of had these knee-jerk reactions about characters that they thought were going to be massively buffed after the patch. And I think having these few weeks to digest and really figure out who's actually won, lost, or stayed the same has been really useful, and I am super excited to break it open with you, man.
Sounds good, man. Well, all that and more in just 1 second. Welcome back to Beyond the Metagame. This week, AV and I are talking about 8.0 and, of course, the inclusion of new character Min Min. AV, let me just give a little background. If you guys didn't catch our, reaction to the Min Min announcement a couple weeks back, you wouldn't have heard that AV and I were pretty excited for Min Min. I think, AV, to quote you, you said this was the character that you were most excited about before the release. Is that true?
I think you are quoting me correctly. That is true.
And I don't know if I agreed with you exactly, but I was at least close to you in terms of my excitement for the character. I thought she seemed very unique. I thought thematically she seemed cool. Her specific arms abilities seemed like a great middle ground between the mechanics within Smash Bros. And what you'd expect from a character from the ARMS franchise. I thought it seems like a really well-designed character, and I was pretty excited. I'm not going to lie. After playing her, I don't know if my excitement has held up as much. I don't know if Min Min has lit my heart on fire. But before we dive deep, AV, I want to hear your thoughts on what was like the first time you picked Min Min up.
I personally thought she was pretty ridiculous when I played her for the first time. I mean, my first time playing her was with you. I think we did Min Min Dittos. We tried out Min Min, like you playing as your main, me playing as my main, and surprisingly, she gave us results immediately. Like, she wasn't a character that felt like there is some stuff that you need to pick up. And there's some stuff you need to learn with her. Like, she has all of these ridiculous 0 to death combos and ridiculous 30, 40 to death combos. But the character's range and safety and fast neutral options were very, very clear and noticeable from the start. So my first impressions were that I'm not that actually excited about the character. I think she's pretty cool. But she felt good, even the first time that I picked her up, which is not how I felt with either Joker or Banjo.
Yeah.
Or Plant or who else?
Terry?
Terry was hard because he's a fighting game character. Yeah, Byleth felt bad. Terry's hard. I always knew that Terry would be a character that would just kind of be figured out eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I immediately felt like, okay, this character is probably going to be pretty good. And for once, I think I predicted correctly, because before we jumped into this, I claimed she would be top 20 in the game.
Yeah, you did. I don't know if that's the consensus. I think she seems like a good character. But well, okay. Before we go there, I want to talk about my first experiences with the characters. Yeah, we did a ditto, and I right off the bat we were both like, okay, this character's pretty fun, you know. And I've played her on For Glory. I think I got her Elite Smash, and you know she was fun. She was fun. I think that her gameplay gets a little repetitive. Personally, it's a lot of zoning. It's a lot of throwing out hitboxes and just holding ground and hoping that like one of your punches connect. And you know, I like her down tilt and the up smash. She feels good when you land combos. It does feel good, but I feel like her strengths are so pronounced that her weaknesses also have to be pronounced. Otherwise, she would just be broken. And it just feels pretty bad when somebody does get in on you. Like if somebody full hops in front of you and lands like in your face, and I think Sakurai even pointed that out in his gameplay demo. It doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel like if you're up against a wolf and a wolf just does a full hop, fast fall nair on top of you. It's like it's hard. She doesn't have that many tools. Her up smash can anti-air a bit. Her what's it called? Bam Bam, the little hoop. What's that? Ram.
Yeah.
Her Ram is pretty good at kind of anti-airing people when they're in front of you. But when someone gets in, it's like, ouch, ouch, ouch. You know, kind of like you would feel if you're playing the Belmonts or something like that. And it needs to be the case, but I just don't think that playstyle of characters for me. I'd rather be rushing down. I'd rather be breaking that wall than establishing the wall. Have you played her at all in multiplayer settings beyond 1v1? Have you played her like in a free-for-all match or in a doubles match?
I have not. I see the appeal. I mean, like attacking in both directions seems really fun. It seems really chaotic. I think coordinating that with a doubles partner would be very difficult. I can already imagine like some kind of ridiculous double min team just kind of doing some really nasty stuff.
I'll say this. I was playing against computers with my girlfriend, and that's how when we play the game together. That's usually how we play. We just mess around and fight computers together because she isn't super competitive, and you know, with Smash or with anything really. So you know, it's just kind of for fun. And she likes Min because Min-Min's a blonde that has green eyes, and my girlfriend does too. So whenever there's a character like that in popular, she's like, whoa, it's like looks like me, you know, which is cute. I really think that like you know, having a character that resembles you is so important in games. Like it really is.
Yeah, all I got is like Dhalsim, and like it's terrible. Like the Indian,
it's horrible.
The Indian representation is so bad.
Dude, it really, and I totally feel for you. And I think that like on a less serious note, but I empathize with you because a lot of RPGs and MMOs and stuff, and any game where you make your own character, a lot of them don't have red hair as an option. Like Mii's, like if you're trying to make a Mii. It's just like different, very like shades of brown, and then if there is a red hair option, it's like fire truck red. It isn't like ginger red. So, I think that like you definitely have much more to complain about as an Indian guy. But anyway, I empathize with you. I do think that's important.
Oh, that's fair. I'd say it's kind of a shame that your actual hair color isn't. It seems like something that's a very reasonable like thing to put in. Like that doesn't seem like a hard hard ask.
Well, I think women have it the worst. I mean, even look at Smash. There's like less than 10 female characters, or less than 15 or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, there's not that. A vast majority of the roster is male, and I mean but that's because Smash is representative of the entire gaming world, right? So like across gaming, it's mostly male characters. So anytime there's a girl, like I remember in Breath of the Wild, actually, my girlfriend was also really happy because Link looked kind of androgynous.
That is kind of true. Like, yeah, that is true because like Link has the really long hair and it's like braided and it's like
and you could wear kind of like you can wear like a bra, like you wear like traditionally like girly things like to. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling, but so my girlfriend gravitated to Min because it looked like her, or she looked like her. And she was playing her in the computer match, and just like Sakurai predicted people would, she was just throwing that megawatt into crowds, and it was pretty effective. So I tried the same thing too, and I was just playing in that type of like casual environment. And I'll say she's a really fun casual character because you there aren't people rushing you down all the time, and you can kind of just throw your arms out and cause some chaos. And I definitely think it feels like she was designed more for that than she was like for a competitive environment. Because when you have to play her like we would play her as competitive smashers, it's a lot of just 1v1ing, spacing out your tilts, and I don't know. It isn't for me.
Right. In that sense, I think she was designed really, really well. And the reason I say this is because she appeals to a lot of casual players. A very appealing design, lots of like very intuitive gimmicks, such as like the double arm you can smash with your B button as well as your A button. It feels like a good casual design, and then you look at the stuff that people have been doing with her in the competitive realm, and it's absolutely disgusting. And she is very clearly a competitive character, and while she isn't for you, using your words, and definitely isn't for me, after I tried her out, she is for someone, and it's scary. I've been running into min-mins on quick play, and it can be legitimately impossible to get in on the character even when you try to approach at that angle. Because, I mean, yeah, technically you can come in at that full hop angle with your Wolf Nair, but, like, Min still has time to react to that and move. It's not like her moves are that laggy that, like, and that she can't reposition herself, or she can't throw out, like, her really, really fast up smash, or ram, or she can always, like, pivot grab. She has the second largest grab range in the entire game.
I know that. I mean, I knew it was long. Who's number one, if you don't mind me asking? That makes sense. Well, what about Dark Samus, dude? She's automatically the third. No, but no, I'm with you. Let me rephrase myself. I'm not saying she isn't competitive. I'm just saying that it seems like she's so fun in a group, and when you play 1v1, her play style is very it's been foretold. Like, you have to space your moves. And she doesn't really have, it's like if you're playing with the Belmonts or something, you have the whip, you have the cross, you have the fire potion, whatever it's called, and
the holy fire.
The holy fire, thank you. And it's a mix of like long normals and projectiles, and it feels like Min, it's like, because like her A and B button tilts and smash attacks, and aerials are all just do a long punch. It just kind of feels like you're doing the same thing all the time. Like, you're running around doing long punches. And hey, that's kind of what ARMS is.
Yeah.
And that is the source material they're taking this moveset from. So I'm not saying that she was poorly designed. I think that they actually, because I've played ARMS a little bit, and I think ARMS is really fun, by the way. And do you know that ARMS has a rollback netcode? ARMS is online
Seemingly,
is like better than
I think
Ultimate.
I think so. Yeah, that's what people say.
I think, and so anyway, I think ARMS is a fun game, and I think they really did a great job of making the character feel true to ARMS and in Smash, which I think is an awesome thing, just for the health of the game in general. But because, like, at the end of the day, you're just kind of throwing out space punches
I'm with you.
all the time. It's kind of boring for me. It just is.
I'm with you, man. I think you're right. That's why I don't find the character particularly appealing, even if she does have, like, 3 different arms. It doesn't. I mean, one of them's always a dragon, but it's kind of hard to feel like that is. There can be, like, really nuanced gameplay. But that being said, I mean, sword characters aren't the most complicated thing in the world. Like, it's like it's used all of the moves with swords is like up air is up sword, up tilt is up sword while on the ground, and it's like It's like, and so there's not that much nuance, and not every character needs to have like this cornucopia of wild and exotic moves.
Don't say cornucopia at me ever again. no, but like I agree with you. But this is why, like, earlier I said that I like her down tilt and her up smash, and I like that not all of her kit is literally. And I think her jab, like her kicks, or like Chun-Li kicks, are also pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. She does a little leg sweep, like after that gets me every time. That's so cool, like the little legs.
It gets you.
Yeah, the jab.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Like I like it. Like the jab too.
Yeah,
being
wait, whoa. Let's unpack that. What do you like about it? What's getting? What are you getting? What's?
I think you may have misinterpreted my excitement for the move as like some kind of weird like leg fetish or something.
Or something.
No, I mean, I just like leg sweeps. They're cool moves, I think.
Okay. Fair enough. No, but I'm with you. I really think that for me, this character was designed like if there was a line, right, and the midpoint was well, let me rephrase this. I think the character is perfectly designed thematically in terms of Smash Brothers meets ARMS, okay, which is a great creative feat. But from a gameplay perspective, I think we're a little too close to ARMS. I would like a couple, maybe like, I don't know. I just wish that if it was the tilts or if it was the aerials, I wish that a couple less of the moves were just an extended punch. You know, if it was the aerials or the tilts, I'd be okay with it. But I just feel it just gets a little stale for me, my man.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some people out there who are going to be enjoying this character a lot. And I guess for them, if they enjoy the fact that 6 of their moves are ARMS, I think there is a lot of fun to be had with the character. She also has legs. They should make a sequel to ARMS called Legs. It's like the same.
That would be a cool. That would be. Well, I remember when ARMS came out. I remember it was like there was this Switch games showcase trailer thing before the Switch came out, and I remember the whoa 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 like that theme song which is now in Smash, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is a hype song. Came on and I was like, man, what's this game? And it was like ARMS. I was like, this has to be like a work in progress title. But no, they were confident. Like, dude, I guarantee that was not their first choice. Like, they were in the naming laboratory. That they were in some sort of like office with like beige walls and a whiteboard. And like, come on, man, spring arms, super punch,
knuckles.
And it's like someone just smoking a fatty, some Japanese guy. What's the English word for arms? I don't know what the Japanese word is. That's genius. Because it's just called, like, in Japan, that game is still called ARMS, right? It's not called, like, whatever the Japanese word is for arms, right? You have to imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't blow the creativity budget on that, but they have a lot of really interesting characters. I'd suggest trying it out, at least casually. Probably mostly casually, because I've seen competitive ARMS, and it looks exactly like Min Ditto's.
I was commentating at a tournament called Switch Fest.
Yeah.
That would have been 2017. I think it was right like when ARMS came out. Maybe it was early 2018, but it was before Smash Ultimate came out. It was a Smash 4 tournament. 2GG was hosting it in LA, and I was commentating. And so on the stage there was Smash 4 being played, and there was ARMS being played, and it was a major. It was like the biggest ARMS tournament ever to that point, I think. Like that community, like I'd be commentating, and the ARMS setup was like 10 feet away from me, and these guys would erupt. They'd win a match, they're like, woo! They'd freak out, and they'd be like punching the air. They all had outfits on, dresses their character. Like that community, I will always appreciate after that. So maybe I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be discouraging competitive arm. Like it's a wild ride, but baby, if you want to hop in, it seems like a good time.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's disingenuous of me to discourage people from playing competitive anything, considering I have definitely competitively played much less relevant games than ARMS.
Like what?
I'm currently speedrunning a game called Hades. I was top 3. I had the top 3 time on speedrun.com for this last week. I think I just got overtaken, but yeah, I mean,
is that a what's it called, a roguelike?
Yeah, it's
right?
a roguelike.
Like,
It's
so there's RNG involved in the speedrun, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speedruns with RNG, but it's a pretty heavy RNG influences it pretty heavily, but there's a lot of movement, a lot of techniques. So I will not be the person to tell you not to play competitive arms. That would be very hypocritical of me. That being said, maybe give Min Min a try.
If you should this be a special like Patreon goal, like where we just play ARM? What if we actually just fight, Avy? What if you and I just like get a mud pit and we go out to the backwoods, Avy, where you say I'm from?
Look, this camera doesn't tell the full story, but you're at least like 1.5 like pound like times the size of me. So
what do you weigh? What do you weigh?
Wait, we're just exposing my weight on this.
What's your social security number?
On this show,
you have to give me your weight or your social security number.
What is this negotiation technique? Yeah, I mean, what so. All right, fine. What you're like? What are you wearing now?
220.
220. Yeah, I'm 145. So that's not actually that far off.
Oh no, I literally am. I think I'm more than 1.5 of you.
Yeah.
If you're 145, then half that's 72.5. So, yeah, I'm like 1.55 of you.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty funny.
That is just not gonna work. Like it's. I'd have to have like some kind of like what like in like the wild, my advantage would be that I could run circles around you. But like,
are you fast? I'm fast, Davey. I'm very fast.
I'm fast too. I'm a speedy boy. But
Are you? I've never seen you run, Davey. You're always like so composed and angular. Your whole torso is like a V.
I'm safe.
I feel like your legs can't lift your big old v, like Dorito shaped body.
I'm safe. I always save my energy. It's energy conservation. I'm a cheetah. I'm a cheetah, dude. It can't be.
It's like how lions sleep like 22 hours a day.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You learn from the best.
Well, let's talk about how, like, just to wrap up the Min Min conversation. I'm curious as to you did hint that you think that she's got the goods, that she's top 20 or so. That was your prediction. You said that you are affirmed in your belief. How good is she, Av?
I think she's top 20 in the game. I think someone said it better.
But like 1 or 20, like on what end of that spectrum?
15 to 20.
Okay.
When I say top 20, it's like if I thought she was top 1, I'd say she was the best character in the game.
That's fair.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fair.
I think I just say top 20 because there's just some leeway in there. I'd say she's anywhere from 15 to 20, perhaps even better than 15. Someone put it better than me, either this was on Twitter or on Reddit. She kind of occupies the exact same spot that Chrom does. Really good neutral, incredible neutral tools, incredible ledge trapping tools, suspect disadvantage. And suspect, like, offstage game.
Her recovery kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing. Like, I was really disappointed with her recovery. I didn't even touch that. Like, she kind of just dies a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I think that is her one main disadvantage. I think if she had a really good recovery, she would probably be one of the most obnoxious characters in this game. And I think her play style is just kind of, what do you call it? The range is there to the point where you have to respect her. Like, this isn't a character that you can actually, like, kind of, like, do anything disrespectful at any point of the stage, because her jump forward air with Dragon, the laser, she can hit you from pretty much any part of the stage. If you're off stage, she can hit you regardless of where you are with her Dragon laser. There is no point where you can relax while playing her, and that is one of the things that people are going to have to get used to, because she does change the game dynamic in that there is no character that from the stage can just reach all the way out to the blast zone and just kind of snipe you, outside of characters with projectiles who can do that. But it's like her actual arm is going all the way out there. So that is the thing that is the reason why she is, in my opinion, I think one of the best zoners in the game.
Yeah,
and so I think she'll have a place.
Oh, sorry.
And I was just gonna say she'll have a place in Smash Ultimate's high tier.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit more pessimistic than you are. I think maybe between 20 and 30. Like, I think she's good. I think she's in the high tier probably, or high end of mid tier. I think that her poor recovery and poor disadvantage state will keep her there, in my opinion. I just think that like the really good characters in Ultimate will gimp her consistently in top level play, and in just like mid level competitive play. But I might be wrong. I think that somewhere between what you and I said is the truth. Well, cool. My final thoughts on her is that I don't love to play her. I think that her playstyle is unique. I think she's a good inclusion to the game, and that's all I could ask for.
I'm with you there.
But cool, man. Well, hey, a lot of other stuff happened in 8.0 than just Min arriving. People are saying this is like the holy grail of buffs. This is like the fountain of youth of buffs, okay, Avi? It's like you and that. You think you're the only buff thing around here with that tippy tight torso and those just outrageous deltoids. But no, a lot of other people are looking pretty buff, and we're not going to go through every single change individually. If you want to pull up the patch notes sort of to complement what AV and I are talking about, go ahead and do so. We're not going to read them verbatim. And I assume if you're listening to this podcast, you probably already perused the patch notes a little bit anyway. But we'll throw them in the show notes just for ease of access anyway, in the YouTube description. So, AV, you in our show notes, which are invisible to the audience, divided the 8.0 highlights into two sections. One being actually buffed, and another one being same issues as before. And in actually buffed, the first name you list is Wii Fit Trainer, AV. I mean, what are your thoughts? What they changed, and are you happy about them?
Am I happy about them? I'm unsure. Wii Fit Trainer, in my opinion, was always a pretty solid mid-tier, but mid-tier doesn't really mean anything in this game, so I'd say the buffs were good for her for her meta, and she probably won't receive any, and maybe shouldn't receive any more touch-ups until the balance changes end for this game. The thing is whenever you make a balance change that makes a character's frame data better, it has so many consequences that you could never actually predict.
Yeah. So specifically, they made the up smash faster,
yes.
And they also made the sun salutation, her neutral B, have more knockback, right?
Right. I don't think the sun. And it's like, here's the thing. I think the sun salutation change falls into the realm of this change wouldn't have really changed much by itself. I think she would still have the same issues. Wii Fit Trainer, in my opinion, kind of struggled to have very consistent kill confirms. She has incredible combos. Really good, and it's like really good random hitboxes, good offstage game, lots of stalling mechanisms, incredibly powerful when you get deep breathing. But having this up smash reliably confirm, or just at least allowing for reliable setups into the up smash, which with deep breathing kills at obscene percents, like 50 or 60% when you get the right setup, is something that the character just so drastically needed. And then you have reduced vulnerability on stuff like down smash and forward air. Forward air, which was already a really good move, has been improved. And I think they just hit, like I said, whenever you just update frame data, that is where massive improvements to characters come from, and not necessarily from just making things stronger across the board.
Yeah, I'm scared of Wii Fit. I'm sad that she got a buff. Not to piss off our BTM intern Rip Van Winkle, resident Wii Fit main, and Taskmaster, just an absolute brutal authoritarian. And as an intern, you'd really expect it to be sort of the opposite. But he has us chained down, AV, which is normally something I would be excited about. But yeah, the Wii Fit trainer. This scares me a bit. I'm a little worried because, like you said, I think she was already good, just kind of unexplored, underappreciated.
She was missing something, I think. I think she was kind of a underwhelming character without deep breathing, and now I think she still has this. This is like a change that works whether you have deep breathing active or not. Her up smash was always fairly strong. So
I felt like it was like Joker, where deep breathing Wii Fit was amazing, just like Arsene Joker.
Yeah.
And non-deep breathing Wii Fit was still okay, but not amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's enough about Wii Fit Trainer. Next, this time I'm more fascinated by AV. I think I have more personal investment here is Captain Falcon, and goddamn, Captain definitely got some buffs here. And look, man, I used to main Captain Falcon in Smash 4. In Ultimate, I've been a very large critic of Captain Falcon, saying he's not very good. We had Fatality on the podcast a couple seasons ago, and he was super optimistic about his character then, after he had received a very minor buff. I think like his forward tilt set up for more tech chase situations.
Yeah.
And Fatality was like, this change has made him like to where he will be a top tier, and like he was like so excited about it. And now after this change, it's like, okay, maybe I believe you now, Fatality. He being the captain got some crazy buffs. So most notably, his side B, his side special, is an amazing move now. The knockback growth has been reduced, making it a combo tool late into stocks. Like it combos like side B into up air combos like forever. Side B into knee is true or a 50-50 a lot. And so he just kills people because of that so much more often. But he got a bunch of other little things too. His down tilt also got a knockback increase, which is just an awesome little like. That's just a great little 2-frame option to have.
Yeah, and it sends you at such a bad angle that, in my opinion, a launch increase on this is super meaningful. Like, it's not just like this move being more powerful is interesting because it had a very specific use. Like you mentioned, it's a really good 2-frame option, and when it catches people at the ledge, it puts them in such a bad position.
Yeah, and plus, like when moves like get changed, when knockback gets changed on moves, it's very hard to tell whether it's going to be a buff or a nerf in a lot of cases, because if it's a combo move, it changes the percents at which that combo is now usable, right? But down tilt never combos into anything, so it's just one of those situations where if you up the knockback, it's always better, So I think Captain Falcon's happy about that. But one other change that is also super notable is Falcon Kick is just nuts now. Like it's so fast, and it kills earlier, and it's just this amazing burst option that between Falcon Kick and your side B, you have 2 really great burst options that condition shields. So now Captain Falcon can just run up and get grabs, and or just catch people with Falcon Kick or side B. And it's just this awesome, like, such a great buff for the Falcon.
Yeah, I feel like I can't help but feel like there's so many of these things just make like just make Falcons so much easier to use, and because I feel like there's just so many of these options are just so like obvious, right? It's just like, oh, they're like right in your face. Maybe I'll just down B and hope it works. And it does. It works so often because the thing is just blazing fast. This wasn't even the first time that the down B has been buffed. In the last patch that Falcon got buffed, he also received an increase to the speed of his Falcon Kick. So now it's just kind of you'll see something that Fatality does on, if you've been watching his streams, he is like a really famous series that he's been doing where he does a 1st to 10 with all of the people who got their mains also improved. He does up smash to Falcon Kick, and if you didn't know, Captain Falcon's up smash has almost no lag. It's like it's
no end lag.
No, right? Yeah, no end lag, and it's like reminiscent of like Game & Watch up smash. It's like you can just up smash to Falcon Kick and it just catches like 99% of unaware people, and it's just that like you're right. Falcon has just so many of these like crazy burst options. Side B has super armor, and now it just combos all the time. So there's so many things to be afraid of, which will give him grabs a lot more. And honestly, I'm actually kind of excited. This is a character that everyone loves to see. Seeing Fatality in the top of the PGR is something that a lot of people like to see as well. And I don't think this is completely unhealthy for the game because he's still comboable and he still feels somewhat fun to play against.
Yeah, Falcon's a really fun character to fight. I think a lot of people agree because you can combo him, you can edge guard him, and you have to pay attention because he can just blow you up randomly and kill you at like a 30.
Yeah,
he's a true glass cannon, and it's good. I think it's good for the game when characters who are fun to play against, fun to play as, and fun to watch get buffed. You know, just from a bias perspective, and also Falcon's kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of Falcon haters out there. There's a lot of like hipsters, but Falcon's also kind of just like the face of Smash. He's sort of the mascot. You know, you talk to your coworker about Smash, and they're like, "Oh, Falcon Punch." You know, like, they all know of the Falcon Punch, and it's cool. You know, in a world where Falcon sucks, which I would have said he did 6 months ago, maybe even a couple weeks ago, I would have said he's okay. It's cool to say now confidently, I think Captain Falcon's a great character. After these buffs, no doubt in my mind, he's sick now. So that's cool to say. But AV, next on the list, we got Pit, my man. What are your experiences with Pit?
Pit's just a overall very, very solid character now. And I don't want to go over too many of them after this. We'll touch on a few of the characters afterward. But the reason I wanted to talk about Pit is because I think he particularly would be overlooked in this patch if we didn't bring him up. Down tilt combos into a bunch of things. Down smash, which already sent at a terrible angle, just hits even harder. Up air is faster and it hits harder. And down special is now you can just spam it in the air. And for people that don't know, if Pit uses down B in the air, the shields that come up like on both sides, he gets this kind of like boost. He gets this like little air stall. So it's actually something you can just spam because you have full invincibility for the most part on it. So you can just spam that in the air and just kind of get away with murder. Especially now because it has reduced vulnerability. So the character kind of just works now. Lots of things that actually link together because the down tilt, like you mentioned, when you shorten the launch distance of moves that were meant to be combo tools, you are primarily buffing the character, as long as there's no really strange interactions where you kind of remove kill confirms because you're like reducing launch distance. The character has a lot of stuff that links together now, and in my opinion, will be underrated for a while until someone big picks him up. DeBuzz has been playing him a lot actually. So if you see DeBuzz playing Pit a lot more, you will. You shouldn't be surprised. I think this character has a lot to offer.
And Pit's just one of those weird ones, dude. I remember looking at a survey. This was in Smash 4 of all of it was on Smash boards, and it was like looking at the character selection data in all tournaments that had been recorded on Smash boards, which was a lot of them. And Dark Pit was by far the least played character. and I think Pit wasn't that far behind. And those characters were about as good in that game as they are in this game. Like pretty good, but no one plays them. They're not amazing. They're not terrible. Like, what the hell? I don't believe that there are any Pit players out there. I've never seen one. I play on Elite Smash almost every day when I need like 10 minutes off from work, whatever. I work from home right now because of the coronavirus. And, there's no Pits. I haven't seen a Pit in 4 months.
And the thing is when you do finally play against one, they'll get you. And they're going to get you because they're going to hit you with up smash and like kill you at 90 because the thing is an absolute behemoth now. Just be careful for that down tilt up air. Also, I think combos. There's just lots of things that make the character more consistent, which is what Pit needed drastically. Pit having kill confirms is really important because Pit already had a kill throw in forward throw. So having kill confirms, having consistent smash kill options that aren't just forward smash. Pit has the fastest forward smash in the game. Fun fact, tied with Marth and Lucina, I believe. Pit might actually. I think it's the same. So very, very formidable character in the right hands, and I think we'll get to see that.
Well, speaking of Marth and Lucina, it was pretty universally agreed upon that Lucina was just objectively better than Marth in this game.
Yeah.
Because Marth's tipper, historically, has sucked in Smash Ultimate, which is kind of disappointing. Marth, maybe it's also just because due to his melee prominence and Brawl prominence and Smash 4 prominence. I mean, Marth's always been a pretty good character, and as a result, always been beloved. He's been pretty bad in this game. I mean, he's okay in a vacuum, but there's just no reason to play him over Lucina until perhaps 8.0 came out. Now, Marth, his tipper was buffed across the board, and I've messed around with him in Elite Smash, whatever, and like when you're spacing his aerials, specifically his forward air, his back air, you just hit tippers a lot more often, and it's awesome. But I don't know, AV, if you've messed around with it or if you have any opinions now about like Lucina versus Marth.
So I have. I make sure not to play Marth too much in Ultimate because it messes up my melee Marth. But I did give him a shot just to kind of try out the buffs. And while I do have him in the actually buffed category, I think he's still lacking in a lot of ways. They buffed exactly what they needed to buff about him, which was the kind of the tipper hitboxes. But he needs a lot more setups into the tipper hitboxes, and he doesn't really have combos. He has like 2 pieces here and there, maybe a 3-piece if you're lucky, you get the right deal. But you're for the most part just kind of nickel and diming until you just get that kind of like juicy hit. I think it's a lot better now. I think he's closer to being not just shadowed by Lucina, but I think Lucina is still by far a better character.
Yeah, that's a shame because I just think Marth is inherently way more interesting than Lucina. Like the balanced blade mechanic is just kind of it's okay, but the whole like weak hit into the super strong hit mechanic of Marth's sword and inversely Roy's sword, I just always thought was so cool, and. I don't know. It's a shame to me, but I definitely think he's better. I think now at least it's moved in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, I think he, like I said, the buffs were exactly what I think he needed. I think he could afford to have better, more consistent throw combos. Mm-hmm. I think that's something that, and I think Leo does kind of have like a. Have those down throw combos on lock, but they don't feel good. They don't feel consistent. They feel very the execution I think actually should be a little more lenient, and
I agree. I hate that I can say that about like Roy and Crom and Lucina. As when you do like down throw into up air, down throw into nair, it always feels like you're barely hitting someone. And like the moment they get out of that range, that percentage range, you barely miss them. It's like, if you're gonna give me a combo, give me a combo. Like, I'm all for giving options that are difficult to execute, but it should feel satisfying, not like, oh, I barely hit that every single time. And plus, like, I just want to say that the whole issue, I'm going to go out and say I think Marth objectively should be the better character. I think it's better game design. Same thing with Roy to Crom, although they're a bit different. You should never reward doing the easier thing. Playing Marth is objectively harder than playing Lucina because you have to be a lot more precise with your spacing, and you have to be reactive and methodical about using your sour spots and strong spots in harmony. And Lucina, it's like a one-size-fits-all, just swipe your sword and look at the job done. And it's a bit more forgiving, which is fine. I think it's fine game design. But I think that to reward the easier option is just bad game design. I don't know. I was hoping that this Marth buff would be a little bit better.
Yeah,
but
I was hoping the same too. But I think it's a step in the right direction. They'll look at the data. They'll I think observe what's going on in the competitive scene. I think it's very difficult for Nintendo to do balance right now because of the lack of LAN events. If they do end up taking Wi-Fi results very seriously, I think they're going to make some really misguided moves in terms of balancing the game for LAN. Like, I personally, I don't think Sonic should be nerfed. But if you look at the data online, Sonic should absolutely be nerfed to the ground. I think Game & Watch could stand to use like some tuning, but Game & Watch is by far better like much more obnoxious online than he is in person. Even though he is a bit of a pain to play against in person because of he has basically the fastest up B out of shield in the game. And so the thing is that I think making these balance changes is going to be very, very difficult for Nintendo right now. And I don't blame them for being a little easy on the trigger, because I think we saw coming into to Ultimate. We talked about how these balance patches were super measured, calculated. They weren't shaking up the entire game. They were like slowly moving up and down. And I think that's been the balance philosophy all the way through. And they've stuck to that really well. And I really like that. However, we're going to get to so I think we're going to kind of breeze over Ike, Falco, Mewtwo, and Corrin, who all got actually a suite of really nice buffs. Go read the patch notes, because in my opinion, those are the characters that really came ahead in this patch, especially Corrin. Corrin, don't sleep on that character now. However, there's a selection of characters. These are not going to be a surprise to you. Kirby, K-Rool, DDD, and Incineroar, who all got notable buffs, but in my opinion did not move in the tier list that much as a result of these buffs because of inherent problems with the character. Kirby has terrible aerial drift. K-Rool is still extreme. K-Rool is still going to be you can still always run circles around a K-Rool, and same with King DDD. Both of them don't have good out of shield options, so crossing them up is always going to be really easy. And Incineroar's disadvantage, all they did was basically just make Incineroar hit harder, and maybe some some quality of life buffs here and there. But all four of these characters, in my opinion, are not going to be making drastic moves on the tier list as a result of these buffs.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. I think Kirby, K-Rool, King Dedede, and Incineroar are all the types of characters that are really hard to balance. I think that the Smash team is, especially the heavies, K-Rool, Dedede, and Incineroar. It's like if you give them too much stuff, then it becomes a holy nightmare. So right. I don't have too many problems with that. But yeah, AV, I think we've touched over the characters that we're both particularly excited about. If we talked about every single change that was made, I think we'd have like a 5-hour long podcast. So yeah. No one wants that, but I do want your overall impressions. I'll supply mine. I mean, with regard to two characters that perhaps didn't get touched, or your general feelings about the patch. So the one complaint I have, all right, I'm gonna die on this hill, is that I really hate Luigi still. I think Luigi is the worst designed character in the game, for sure, and is up there in terms of like the worst designed characters in Smash history. Like it's that bad. He's there with like Smash 4 Bayo and Brawl Ices, Melee Ices. He's in that category for me right now, and that's because he still has a very consistent 0 to death, and they intentionally nerfed Diddy Kong's Infinite, right? Which is really hard to pull off and situational in 3D platform. But I don't like that Luigi players still have a relatively easy to do 0 to death on most of the cast. All it does is it over centralizes every game versus Luigi as, okay, run away if I'm at 0% until they decide to get bored of fishing for the 0 to death. So they up air me a couple of times. So, okay, so now we can start playing. It's just bad design. Every single time I play against Luigi, I just have to give them 20% or risk dying at 0 from a grab. So I don't know. I was really hoping to see them get rid of that 0 to death. Maybe give him something else. I still want him to be good, but not for the wrong reasons, AV.
It's interesting how particular that one gripe with the patch was, but I mean, I can't say I completely disagree with you. I think in a lot of ways, Game & Watch falls into the same issue of having this like get out of jail free option in terms of up B, where you can kind of just get away with that being of just playing like really nonsensical bait and punish, where you just walk into every attack and punish it, and walk your shield into every attack and then punish it for free. And it's really hard, and he's a very difficult character to grab as well. So I think that there's some issues with game design that haven't been fully ironed out. But I think overall, if I'm looking at the quality of this patch, I'd say it's a very high quality patch. Of course, if I were to look at it from a very personal standpoint, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was disappointed that Donkey Kong didn't get any buffs. I think he's still a character that requires some changes to have like to be a character that can consistently compete at the top level. Because of this, I've been kind of exploring other options. But I've still been keeping him up to date. I think he's a very good secondary, and I think he's always going to be in my roster. It's just that
there's a romance between you and the Kong.
There is, yeah.
Would you have babies with Donkey Kong if that was possible?
No. I've seen the Donkey Kong anime. Like,
it's not an anime; it's a cartoon.
I like calling it the anime. It's fun. It's funnier. But in the Donkey Kong anime, like he's such like a he gives off like these like really weird vibes. I'm not down for that. And that's canon apparently. Okay. And that's canon apparently. So
it's like if you can't have him at his worst, you can't have him at his best, Davey. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can't have DK from the anime, as you say, you don't deserve him at Smash Ultimate. Mm-hmm. Cargo throwing people off stage.
Yeah.
Killing Croms at 20%.
Yeah, Funky Kong's a whole different whole different thing, like, conversation.
Have you? So I've been playing the original Donkey Kong Country with my girlfriend. Like, I don't know why she's been brought up so many times in this episode. And so she was introduced to Candy Kong recently. She was like, "Oh, how do I save?" So we went to Candy Kong's save point. And she's like, "What the hell is this?" It's like a pinup in a like 1920s pinup doll. In a gorilla bikini. I hopefully I didn't. I feel like that's furry bait. That was like the original furry bait. And unfortunately, since we're a Smash podcast, maybe that's probably like at least 3% of our listenership. So, oh yeah, Candy Kong. Whew, that's my girl.
I mean, the thing is, like, you do you, man. I'm not gonna kink shame, especially with you, kind of out here with your very
look,
very pronounced kinks. We are. You are. I'm not gonna lump myself into this. you are the biggest hypocrite if you
yeah.
If you talk down to that, but unless you have anything against it, I'd like to jump into some questions from the community.
Yeah, please do. So, guys, if you want to ask us some questions, go ahead and do so in our Discord server. That's to access the Discord server, you can of course look in the YouTube description as well as the show notes of the podcast on the RSS feed. But these questions were selected that you're about to hear right now. Maybe you want to fire the first one off, my guy?
Sure. We have our first question, which comes from our favorite German 16-year-old in the Discord.
The genius, Kemor, the future world leader, the brainiac.
He is amazing. He will do your taxes for you. If you ask him, just DM. Don't do that. So he asks, do you think that if going from Melee to Brawl, they wouldn't have removed wave dashing, that the two communities would now be unified, or do you think that the other differences from the newer titles to Melee would have mattered enough so that the communities would have still split up? I kind of take back the genius comments after this. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, no. So no. If Brawl had wave dashing, the game's still so different. I think the main thing that makes Melee is hit stun. In Melee, if you hit someone with an attack, your enemy is frozen. A lot of people who are playing Melee on Dolphin with the new Slippy online mode, a lot of people are playing for the first time, and they're realizing that if you land an attack, the enemy is just sitting there like a rag doll, and you can just keep on beating the hell out of your enemy. It's all about that punish game and that combo system while interacting with your opponent's defensive options and DI, and that's really what Melee is. I think wave dashing is this weird thing that people have grasped onto to represent the Melee community. I especially see this like in non-Smash circles where, just general Nintendo fandoms, where they'll talk about, my favorite Smash Bros. Game is Brawl. I'm not like some wave dashing elitist.
No, it's wave cheating. Wave cheating is what
wave cheats
is what they referred.
Yeah, you'll see people say, they glitched the game, and that's not really like the way it was supposed to be played and stuff like that. Wave dashing isn't the end all be all. We have wave dashing in Ultimate, and granted, it's not as good as it was in Melee or Project M, but it's just a bit of an oversimplification. I think Brawl doesn't have hit stun. It's much more about playing neutral and holding advantage state, and for that reason, I think that the game should naturally have two audiences.
Yeah, I completely agree. Last point of difference is that Melee does not have a buffer system, so you can't buffer moves in Melee, which makes it completely different in terms of just the feel of the game. It feels super terrible to go from Melee to another game and actually another game to Melee, and they're like, how people like come into Melee and they say, this game feels awful. I thought I was promised cool movement. That's just because you're used to buffering all of your options, and you can't, and it's not going to feel good if you try to buffer everything. Why don't you fire off that second question, Peon?
Yes, sir. This one comes from Meaty Ogre. Meaty Ogre says, "Dearest AV and Peon." What a polite ogre. Okay, that is
very
dearest polite. AV and Peon. Which move from another character would you steal for your main?
Oh,
that's a good question.
Easy. This is the easiest question in the world. And I love this question for that. And that's Game & Watch Up B. Consider a Donkey Kong that can true combo you off of a frame 4 or something out of shield option from up B into up air. a character that has like an amazing recovery and an up B that does not put you into special fall. and you can true combo up air. Game & Watch's up B would by far and away fix, like, not only fix everything that's bad about the character, giving DK an amazing out of shield option. I mean, you do lose grounded up B, which is an incredible tool that's extremely important. And I use grounded up B a lot, but the gains from getting Game & Watch's up B would, I think, so far outweigh the loss of losing grounded spinning Kong.
That's a really good answer. I'm trying to think of because I'm in Cloud, right? And as a Cloud player, I'm wondering if I steal another character's B move, does that imply that I also will get like a limit version of that B move?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Because then you know what I mean? So I might have to like think about this a bit more. Like, what if like
I agree.
I steal Mario's Fireball, and limit Fireball is just like your final smash type.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, like, Kamehameha. No, but that's a really hard question for Cloud. I think I would do some sort of up air. Like, I think Cloud's up air isn't that good because it what?
Do you know what I was thinking?
Or maybe it's Nair. I'd probably replace Cloud's Nair. Sorry, what were you thinking?
You give Cloud either Byleth's or DK's up air. Like
that okay, but
that would be gross.
I thought of another one.
Okay.
I would give Cloud Ike's Nair.
Oh shit.
That would be good.
Oh my god, that would be so
That'd
good.
be good. So yeah, if you give Cloud Ike's Nair, you could true combo like probably like finishing touch, limit cross slash. You could follow his Nair his up air is okay for it's a good move for catching landings, but it's really finicky in terms of like being a combo starter. And Cloud doesn't have that many combo starters. You give Mike Snare, he suddenly becomes a combo powerhouse.
Yep.
That's gross. Yep.
That would be really gross. Yeah, I was thinking Byleth up air because I think I've gone on record saying that Byleth up air is such an incredible move that is on a very, very slow character. So,
yeah.
I think that is a really, really good move, and I think
that's a good idea too.
It's
I
huge.
think that would definitely be a huge upgrade. But anyway, AV, we got another question. You want to fire this one off?
Sure. From Saloron 22, SALORON 22. Hey, AV and Peon, I just finished binging the podcast. I'm all caught up. That's awesome. I'm downloading P+, and I'm excited to relearn my melee mechanics. With that said, what is the tech that has taken you guys the longest time to lab out from 64 all the way to Ultimate?
Okay, so I luckily I labbed this out in Smash 4, and it's still a really big thing in Ultimate. It isn't as big of a deal, but look, people say Melee has a bunch of advanced tech. It certainly does, but and there's a lot of individual techs that you weave together. You know, like you wave land on a platform, you have to L cancel. There's a lot of things you're doing all the time. It's really integrated, but none of those mechanics for me were that hard to learn. Implementing them was a bit tricky, but frankly, I thought they were all kind of easy in a vacuum. The hardest thing for me, though, was learning in Smash 4 how to instant ledge snap, or instant ledge trump, I should say. So this is still a thing in Ultimate, and it's very useful, where you're on the stage, and you instantly snap onto the ledge hanging down. And this is a really good way to ledge trump people who are holding onto the ledge, and you can force them off the ledge. And if you're using a character like Cloud or Captain Falcon, who's a fast faller, it's actually quite hard to do it, and you're at risk of, if you mess it up, you'll just end up putting yourself off stage in the worst position possible. So the risk reward of actually pulling it off when you're not that confident at it is so bad, because if you get it, you get a successful ledge trump and you can surprise your opponent and hit them after you take them off the ledge. But the risk was you just pretty much killed yourself. Or as Cloud, for instance, if you have limit and you go for it and you mess up, well, you have to use limit to recover. So you literally waste your limit going for this. And so, that and the actual input itself is pretty difficult. So there were a lot of things working against me there, and it took me a long time to master. But these days I still can do it really consistently, so it was definitely worth labbing out. But it definitely got me some gray hairs. I lost a couple tournament sets for going for it and SDing. So, AV, what about you, man? I think your mic's muted, my man.
There's a bunch of different there's a bunch of different things I could possibly say here. One of them would be wave bouncing, which for those who don't know, it is both combining a turnaround special and a B reverse special. So so with the B reverse special, you kind of conserve your momentum and you go in the opposite direction. With the turnaround, you just do it in the opposite direction without conserving momentum. And with a wave bounce, you do it in the same direction, but you conserve momentum in the opposite direction. And it's a bit of a difficult thing to pull off. That kind of, it's crossed over from Smash 4 into Ultimate, and it's something that's like it has like very niche usages, but they're really, really powerful when you master them. It's just a very difficult and tight input. But and that's kind of just always been a work in progress. As with instant ledge trumps, I think that's a really good answer. But the thing that I've spent actively trying to learn more than anything else ever is probably the stupidest answer that you'll ever hear, and that's DK's up throw, up air confirm in Smash 4. And the thing is that it wasn't hard. It wasn't something that was an extremely hard thing to do, but it required you to read. It was a really weird timing that people didn't understand. People would pick up the character and like think, oh, all I have to do is press up throw, then jump and press up air, and they'd end up missing it more times than not, because it actually wasn't, while it wasn't hard, it wasn't exactly intuitive. I practiced that combo more than anything I've ever practiced before because it won me tournaments just to practice that one combo, because all I had to do was just grab people at 60 in Smash 4 and I'd get a free kill off of it. So out of all things, the thing that took me the longest to perfect, it was kind of a One Punch Man kind of thing. It was very much a One Punch Man kind of thing. It was DK's up throw up air, and consequently into this game, the up throw up air version that in this game, which is far harder in this game, is the thing that I have spent by far the most time learning.
Cool, man. Well, our last question comes from Cyclone, and the O is a 0. So I don't know what that says about Cyclone. He's like some sort of like future like protagonist. But he says, "Hello, AV and Peon. I just started listening to your podcasts, and I'm really enjoying them. Thank you, Cyclone." I said that, not him. So some days I play really well, and others I'm just total garbage. How and why does this happen? By the way, I'm a Luigi main. So first of all, Cyclone, I'm sorry for bitching about your character for about a minute straight. But AV, you want to start this one off?
Sure. I think actually Peon may have inadvertently answered this question for you. I think it's actually built into the character. Outside of the thing is, in theory, you may just have some inconsistencies that you need to line up. But I think Luigi is an incredibly inconsistent character, because either he gets the things that he wants and you are just so on and you just 3-stock someone, because you have the best up B, you have the most powerful up B out of shield in the game by far, because you can kill people at like 50 with Luigi up B out of shield. And so you have these extremely disgusting punishes and lots of kill setups, but Luigi has probably, again, one of the worst disadvantages in the game. So you have like this Chrom-esque, Min-Min-esque character where you are going to be inconsistent because Luigi doesn't have a lot of poking tools outside of Fireball, right? So either you just spam grab a bunch, or you try to like fish for these really, really powerful things, and if you don't get them, you're really, really screwed. As opposed to like Min-Min or Chrom, who have a lot of like really, really like deep neutral options, whereas Luigi kind of is so feast or famine that I think he's naturally inconsistent.
I think your answer explains inconsistencies within different matches.
Yeah.
But if you're noticing that like you play for 4 hours, you go to a tournament or something, and throughout the entire tournament you play terribly, or you just do one online session and you play awful for like 15 matches in a row. I don't think that is variance within your character's moveset. I think that is variance with how you approach the game. And so what I would challenge you to do, Cyclone, is when you are playing on point, when you are feeling yourself, you have to ask yourself why. Are you in a good mood? Are you listening to music? Are you paying attention to the matches? Are you getting kills in a specific way? Like, are you just landing more of your kill confirms? There's a lot of different factors that could be going into why you're doing good or bad in any given day. But what I would encourage you to do is to be more deliberate in your process of all the meta things, all the things that you do around the game anytime you sit down to compete or to practice. So try to make things as consistent as possible for yourself. Listen to the same type of music. Sit the same distance away from your TV. Think about the same things. Relax and try to have the same sort of mood going in your matches. Try to keep all of the other variables consistent, so you can just focus on your gameplay. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I was offering one possible explanation. I was gonna send it. I conveniently sent it over to you for the probably maybe more likely explanation. I think you can. I think Cyclone, you only yourself will know what it is from hearing this, and like Peon said, regardless of what it is, I think regardless of whether it's indicative of the character, indicative of something or inconsistencies in your play or the things that you do to set up your play, like he mentioned. Peon's advice, I think, is on point in terms of be aware of what's going right and what's going and what when things are on, and I think that'll give you a good hint.
Well, awesome. AV, before we head out, I do want to remind the beautiful listeners again once more. August 9th, save the date. We have a BTM tournament, official 8.0 tournament. We don't have a name for it yet, but it's going to be popping. I'm excited. I think AV. I think you and I should compete this time. I'm throwing the gauntlet. I want to play. I'm tired of watching. I'm tired of commentating. I want to throw my hat into the ring.
We'll get someone else to. Well, what we can get other people to commentate for us.
We'll see. I mean, I'll still stream it, obviously, and I can help commentate the matches I'm not playing in. But anyway, well, just a thought.
That'd be interesting. I think also we do have a name for the tournament. It's called BTM Face Off 6.
Woo! Okay, I couldn't remember what number it was. I'll be honest.
I think it's 6. I might be totally
okay,
wrong, but I think it's 6.
No, I bet you're right. AV, where can people find you on Twitter, my friend?
I didn't realize that was something that people wanted to do, but because I mean, if they did, I would have more than one follower at this point, and I mean, right now it's just your cat.
AV, I will say this, if you want people to follow you on Twitter, AV, you have to post, other things than just you doing shirtless yoga. Okay, and it's the same photograph too as a thing. It's the same, and it's from 2012.
It's the same photograph.
You look irrecognizable. It's a picture of you from 2012. You're wearing a bamboo.
No one wants to see me do that.
No, it's a weird.
That is weird.
You have long hair. You're wearing bamboo shorts. You're wearing no top at all. You're on gravel. It doesn't even look comfortable where you're sitting. And you've posted this every hour for the last 8 years. And I think at one point you had a pretty substantial following, and it's dwindled. And everybody's unfollowed except for my cat, who.
It's true.
Frankly, I run that account, and I think I'm going to unfollow you on that account too.
I wouldn't blame you if you did. I thought consistency was the way to followers' hearts, and I thought I knew what they liked, and apparently Apparently, I was off the mark. but in any case, if you do want to see that one picture I've been posting, I have a bot that's posting it for an hour every every hour. You can see that picture at AV Vaidyanatha on Twitter. Now the thing is that's kind of hard to say. It's A plus my long Indian last name, and the way that you can actually figure that out is if you go over to our Beyond the Metagame official Twitter account. And
we have an official marketing intern.
We do.
How is he not like wrung your neck for your lack of searchability online? You know what I mean? Like,
trust me, you just didn't hear about it because of I just couldn't bring myself to talk about all the things he threatened against my life. If I
Rip Van Winkle.
I have to shape it up. So people help me out. I have to shape it up. So okay. Help me be more discoverable. But in the meantime, when I'm not discoverable, you can find my Twitter account at the Beyond Metagame Twitter account, which is at Peon.
Now, this AV, I'm happy you asked. This Twitter account is at Beyond Metagame. You heard me, at Beyond Metagame. The show you're currently listening to is called Beyond the Metagame, but Twitter has a very strict character limit, which I found out only after naming the show. You can also find my Twitter on that account, which of course is Peon_Bravo Tango Mike for all you Spaniards.
I was gonna say Bravo.
Bravo. Guys, as always, thank you so much for listening. Stay safe out there. Goodbye. This week's episode was in part made possible due to the support of our patrons. BK Otter, Robiert, Ultimate, Ampersand, Booney, Cerebro, Danderson, Weasel, Hydra, Minlo, Pariah Sensei, Spencer, Dean Guy, Two Tacos, Butter, Campbell Soups, Donut, Danny Boy, Dubai Poison, Bart Daly, Ferris, Cal the Hero, Mockatoon, Ringo, Rubop the Dog, Shaq Furniture,